listen to, who watch all of the things you do. I hate to break it to you, not everyone wants the best for you. Who try to take the dream inside you, they see they're flat out jealous and envy all the things you will be. Yeah, just hold your head up, man, and keep on moving on. If I would've never struggled, then I wouldn't have this song. But don't get me wrong, no need to stack up your strife. You gotta watch the ones who you let speak straight into your life. Cause the artists, they will sing you all their fancy little songs with the funny little beats and all the catchy sing-alongs. But the messages they give are not the kind you should be fed. It's a recipe of lies they try to get stuck in your head. Man, I see some rappers sold their souls, I won't be selling mine. No need to find a source when you're eating from the vine. You thought that I was done, but now I'm leaving you behind. Wouldn't say I deserve it, but I'm here to get what's mine. Live free, dream big, and see that the world is yours. The world is yours. Give all you have to give. Cause the world is yours. The world is yours. Live good, live right, no fear tonight. The world is yours. The world is yours. And just stay true, fight on, stay you. The world is yours. The world is yours. Look up, live free, dream big, and see that the world is yours. The world is yours. Give all you have to give. Cause the world is yours. The world is yours.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am so happy that you are here today. It is Earth Day 2020. It's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and I'm excited that you're here. I haven't been around for all 50 of those, but I have been around for a majority of the Earth Days, and I have a special Earth Day read aloud for you. I'm going to read my second favorite Dr. Seuss book to you today. My favorite Dr. Seuss book is Oh, the Places You'll Go, and I'll read that one to you maybe in May as we celebrate graduations and people moving on to middle school, because we have a lot of 5th graders on here that'll be going to middle school, and that's the perfect book to read to you then. So I'll save that one to read next month. But I hope all of you are having a great day. I'm going to share where we're at as far as our house points go. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Earth Day, and then we're going to read, or I'm going to read, The Lorax to you, which is my second favorite Dr. Seuss book, which to me is very fitting for Earth Day, and you'll see after we read it if you've not read the book before. So let's look at our house point totals today. It is Earth Day, like I said, April 22nd. This is the 50th anniversary. So most of you on this chat, well, all of you, all the kids here, 50 years from now, you're going to be probably in your 60s or close to 60. So 50 years from now, you will celebrate the 100th anniversary of Earth Day in 2070. Maybe I'll be around. I don't know if 50 years from now if I'll be here or not. But if I am here, I'll be able to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Earth Day. But you guys certainly will, live into your 60s, as long as you're healthy and everything. So you'll get to see the 100th anniversary. So maybe you can look back when you're, in your 60s, you can be like, man, 50 years ago when we celebrated Earth Day, the 50th anniversary, it was kind of an interesting time in the history of our country because everyone was shut inside because of the coronavirus. So, and speaking of that, I hope you all are keeping up with your journals. I'm doing a daily journal. I've been keeping a daily journal since we got out of school, and it's over 40 pages now long of just things. Some of it deals with the coronavirus, but most of it just deals with what's going on, in the world, what's going on here at my house, what I'm doing. So if you have some time before you go to bed each night, just take a few minutes and write down what you did during the day. It doesn't have to be all about the coronavirus, but if you take a few minutes and you can just write down what you did. How did you celebrate Earth Day today? Today, Earth Day, of course. Let's talk about Earth Day for just a second. We've got a rainy Earth Day today, but it's been celebrated every April 22nd since 1970. And the main aim of Earth Day is basically to raise awareness on the negative impacts that our actions have on the environment and the earth as a whole. And so it's kind of a day for us to raise awareness and have some type of civic participation. A lot of times people will go out and plant trees and do different things. This year is a little bit different, but it was got founded, there was a big oil spill in California in 1969, and there were some senators and some people that got together, and they're like, we've got to do something about this because we have to protect the earth for not only ourselves but future generations to come, like me and like you and like your kids and grandkids and all the people that will be on this planet, hundreds of years from now. So they decided to do Earth Day in 1970, and then in 1990, about 20 years later, it became like a worldwide deal. So now, people around the world today are celebrating Earth Day, and if you watch the news tonight, I'm sure you'll hear some things about that since it's the 50th anniversary. All right, House Point update. Yorisi is still in first with 1,484 points. Dinan is in second with 1,142 points. Funda is in third with 720 points. And Amistad is in fourth with 570 points. That's our update as far as our House Points totals goes. All right, so today I'm going to read The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. You may have seen the movie or the cartoon, and you may have read this book already, but to me it's an appropriate book to read on Earth Day, and we'll talk about that after I read it. So let's get to it. Here we go. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the griggle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there, and why was it lifted and taken somewhere far from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives here? Ask him. He knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof where he makes his own clothes out of myth-muffled moof. And on special dark midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole, in his grubbless glove. Then he grunts, I'll call you by whisper-ma-phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Shloop! Down slips the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a smirgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the swami swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the triphala trees, the bright-colored tufts of the triphala trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate trufala fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the hummy fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those trufala trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these, the touch of their tufts and much softer than silk, and they had their sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I'd built a small shop. Then I chopped down a trufala tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a go zump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. "Mister," he said with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs." He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, "What's that thing you're made out of, my trufala tuft?" "Look, Lorax," I said, "there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats." The Lorax said, "Sir, you are crazy with greed. This is no one on earth who would buy that full thneed." But the very next minute I proved he was wrong, for just at that minute a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. "You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy." "I repeat," cried the Lorax, "I speak for the trees." "I'm busy," I told him. "Shut up, if you please." I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put on a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, "Listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch, turn it left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch." And in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees to the sound of the chopping of trufala trees. Then, oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow, so I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 trufala trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, "I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits, and happily lived eating trufala fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough trufala fruit to go round, and my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies, because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys," he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm, I most truly did not, but I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my rows, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads of the thneeds I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when the old nuanced Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffed. He snargled, he sniffed. Onceler! He cried with a cruffless croak. Onceler! You're making such smogless smoke. My poor swami swans. Why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. What's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up, let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery glugs on, day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup and sloppity-slop. And what did you do with this left-after goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glupping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed, so I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more thneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time my uncles and aunts, every one, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left 'neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad and backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he heisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of a Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch calls the onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. Okay, that is the end of the Lorax. I hope you enjoyed that. That is one of my favorite Dr. Seuss books, and I think it's very appropriate for today. Tell me in the comments what you think about the Lorax and what you think about that word unless. What does that mean to you? And I'll give you a second to make some comments, and then I'll pull them over into the screen so everyone can see. So, Sloan is saying, plant the seed, yeah. And Mackenzie is saying, plant it. And today is Earth Day 2020, our 50th anniversary. And so I thought this is a real appropriate book to read to you today, because this is a day where we think about the environment and we think about what we do to the environment. Because if we go around hacking down all the trees like the Onceler did in the Lorax, there won't be any more. And if we go around, messing up our Earth, we could really hurt it in a way that would be detrimental to us and future generations. So Luke says, unless someone helps. That's what he thinks unless means. Thank you, Luke, for doing that. And so, yeah, unless someone does something, nothing will be done. And so someone needed to stop the Onceler, but no one could. The Lorax wasn't able to do it. He just left because of everything that happened. And so William and Luke are saying, unless we do something. Sloan is saying, one hope. Good. I like that. Unless Mackenzie says, unless you help the Earth, it will forever be useless. Unless we plant it. Excellent, excellent. I like that. I like all of these comments. These are great, everyone. And so I want you to think about that. I mean, we all can do our part to help the planet, okay? So here's an example. Jania just popped in here, said, yesterday I saw trash bags outside near the road. Well, what could we do? We could actually go pick those trash bags up, and if they're trash, put them in our trash can to throw them away. Instead of, when you're riding down the road in your vehicle, throwing trash out the window or throwing gum out the window, wait until you can get somewhere to place it in a trash bag or a trash can. That is, unless we recycle, all this plastic that we use is going to fill up the oceans. It already is. Miss V says, unless we realize we're wasteful, unless we realize we need our Earth. Yes, we have to realize this. So that's what Earth Day is all about. Miss V makes a good point here. It kind of feels like the Earth is fighting back now. It's fighting us now. And that's true. It does kind of feel like that with the coronavirus. But unless someone cares, that's what Sloan just said, and unless we have a clean Earth, Destiny and Faith just said this, we have nothing. And that's true. And I mean, think about this. You're all young. If the Earth is dirtied and you have to live in it, it's going to affect you. And we have been polluting the Earth. Like in the Lorax, we've been doing a lot of bad things to Earth. So we have to stop doing those things, and we have to keep our Earth as clean as possible. So anyway, I'm glad that you all were on here today. I'm glad you listened to that read aloud. Again, that's The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. That's my second favorite Dr. Seuss book. I hope all of you have a wonderful Earth Day. I know it's kind of a rainy, wet, cloudy day out there, but maybe you can get outside and get some fresh air and enjoy that fresh air that you're able to breathe right now, because we don't ever want to get in a situation like the Lorax where it's the air is so filled with pollution that we can't breathe. And it's going to take you, it's going to take me, it's going to take all of us working together for us to do our little parts to help all of the world, be safe and be able to survive. So I hope all of you have a great rest of your day. I'll continue monitoring the comments. I'm going to play a song, The World Is Yours, which is appropriate today to close us out here. And tomorrow, we'll be back at our regular time at 1 p.m. with Thursday Trivia. So it'll be a lot of fun. Invite your friends to come back and be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow for Thursday Trivia. I've got a fun game planned for us tomorrow. I hope all of you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Earth Day 2020, the 50th anniversary. For homework, I almost forgot, for homework, if you have a favorite picture book that you'd like me to read, send that to me at carvercardinals@gmail.com, and I'll try to get that on the air. On Wednesdays, it's Read Aloud Wednesday, so I'll read a new picture book next Wednesday. So send it to me. If you sent me some, I already have that. That's great. You can send me more at carvercardinals@gmail.com. Everyone have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Look up, live free, dream big, and see the world is yours, the world is yours. Give all you have to give. The world is yours, the world is yours. I tried to break free, you tried to keep me bound. I tried to live right, you tried to keep me down. But now I'm going up, I'm moving higher than anywhere that I've been before. I'm flying, man. It's kinda crazy, like my feet are lifting off the ground. I'm touching heaven with my hands now to get the sound. But though I'm flying, my head is still level, and I won't be bound down to hear the whispers of the devil. Now the future is here, and it looks real bright, and it can be yours too if you set your path right. I know life can be hard, but you were put here to win. Just refuse to quit when you're down and get back up again. Man, I used to rap my music from my tiny bedroom, and though I dreamt of being free, I felt trapped like in a tomb. And even though the times are dark and I can barely even see through all the tears, I sit and pen, weave out my destiny. But now the days are gone where I would listen to the critics who counted me out before they ran the proper analytics. I'm here to stay, just like a necklace waiting to be pearled, and I'm throwing up the chorus as I'm singing with the world. Live free, dream big, and see that the world is yours, the world is yours. Give all you have to give, 'cause the world is yours, the world is yours. You should be careful who you listen to, who watch all of the things you do. I hate to break it to you, not everyone wants the best for you. Who try to take the dream inside you, they see they're flat out jealous and envy all the things you will be. Yeah, just hold your head up, man, and keep on moving on. If I would've never struggled, then I wouldn't have this song. But don't get me wrong, no need to stack up your strife. You gotta watch the ones who you let speak straight into your life. 'Cause the artists, they will sing you all their fancy little songs with the funny little beats and all the catchy sing-alongs. But the messages they give are not the kind you should be fed. It's a recipe of lies they try to get stuck in your head. Man, I see some rappers sold the souls, I won't be selling mine. No need to find a source when you're eating from the vine. You thought that I was done, but now I'm leaving you behind. Wouldn't say I deserve it, but I'm here to get what's mine.